Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Katie Weaver Show. This is Katie. I'm your host, and I am so happy to be here. If you are listening live, it is the 3rd of November at about 11 a.m. Pacific time. If you're listening to an archive or a replay or watching this later on YouTube, perhaps, I want to welcome you to the show. I want to let you know that I am live streaming this event via YouTube and Facebook. So just look for Domestic Mystic in either place and you'll find me there. And that's where to watch. But I'm going to go ahead and share into the chat room as well. We are chatting in our Facebook chat room, and you can find that by heading over to 12radio.com. That's number 2 radio.com. And click on the chat link, and you'll be redirected into the Facebook chat. And our producer, Scott, is standing by, and he'll gladly let you into the room. So I did just share the live stream into the chat, but you'll also see my banner at the top of the page, and that's where we are chatting and asking questions and things like that. So come and play with us. Though I will tell you, I am keeping an eye on the comment threads for all the places that is streaming. So I should see you regardless. So I'm glad to be here with you guys today. It's a weird day, as we all know, and I've had lots of requests from you guys to help us work through some of the energy that's going on today. So, and if you're not in the US, I apologize. You're probably very sick of our elections and things. So are we. But this is another one of those shows, though it's not a political show, so don't worry. All are welcome here, no matter what. But first of all, I'm going to explain my voice because I had an incident this morning. Scott and I got up early and went and voted, and our polls opened at 8, and we got there right at 8 and waited in line for not very long. We were back in the car by 8:15, so it was super quick, and which was what I was hoping for, so that we were in and out quickly, and so we weren't in the middle of the COVID fray over there. But it's whatever. So we came home, and a few minutes later, I took my medicine, my morning meds, and I take these enormous calcium pills, 2 of them twice a day, and they're huge, but usually I don't struggle. Well, one of them got stuck in my throat like long ways, and I had a horrible incident I couldn't cough it up, I couldn't cough it down. It was just like several minutes of forceful retching. It went on and on and on. And poor Scott and Mars, they're not sure if I'm, dying or what's happening. I can breathe. I can talk in between retching fits, but I can't make that pill budge. And at first I couldn't get any liquid down either. It was just shut clear off. Then I could start to get a little coffee down, but it did not budge. And my body fought and fought and fought against it. And Scott finally gave me a couple of swallows, gross, of olive oil, but that I think probably did it because it finally went down. But since then, I'm coughing. I'm kind of like congested, like my body's having almost a histamine response, and it wrecked my voice. So I think I probably railed hard against my vocal cords in the fray. So anyway, I almost didn't come on today because I don't sound very good and I'm coughing a little bit because of that. I promise I was fine beforehand. But anyway, so if I'm a little hoarse, I'm a little coffee, I apologize. Like I said, I almost didn't do the show, but truly I felt like we have really important work to do today. And that was just the wrong decision. So I'm here. So I apologize for the roughness, but you know what? Whatever. It is what it is, right? We have work to do. Okay. So, yes, and poor Scott and Mars. I scared the hell out of both of them. But whatever. Finally, it went down. And, anyhow. Scott suggested that I might consider taking those separately from now on. I think yes, because I don't ever want to go through that again in my lifetime. But anyway, and I think I bought calcium pills that are bigger than the ones I normally take, so maybe that was a part of it. But anyway, Oh, Lillian, I have had tea and honey all morning and coffee and water, and now I've settled on seltzer water to see if that helps. But yeah, I'm with you. Okay, good. Well, thank you, Jacqueline. You know, I hesitate to, be, I don't want to sound like shit. Okay. There it is. All righty. Well, let's get to what's really important today. Okay. I've been hearing from my empaths for the last couple of days, really all weekend and into yesterday, and definitely today, that they're feeling very, very anxious and worried. Um, Sunday night, late, like after 11, my 17-year-old daughter climbed in my bed and asked for some energy work. She said that her tummy was tied up in knots and she felt like she couldn't breathe and was feeling very, very anxious about the election. And we did some work together and we talked about it. One of the things that had her so concerned is that what we're seeing, like on social media, is bigger cities boarding up, getting ready for violence, and it's so scary. And where we live, there have been these enormous gatherings of Trump people in their pickups, driving around together, and miles and miles of pickup trucks. And there's been some really ugly stuff that's happened there between them and Biden supporters. And a dear friend of ours that's a reverend who leads a Saturday BLM protest on one of our bridges. And it's usually like a gathering of like 10 very elderly people. And they took some pretty serious abuse off of the Trump train, unfortunately. And again, it's not political. Both sides have been are guilty of bad behavior. I'm not trying to call anything out, but we've just seen things that are concerning and are worrisome and scary. And so she's feeling scared, you know. So we did some energy work. We talked about it. She got to feeling better and went to bed. 10 minutes later, my phone rings. It's my 20-year-old son that lives in, the other side of the state. And he said, did I wake you? And I said, no, I was just up with your sister. And he said, good, because I can't sleep. My stomach is tied up in knots. I'm feeling so anxious. I just feel like I'm being smothered by this election, and very similar to what she was feeling. And we talked it out and we worked it out. And finally, he was okay as well. But that's kind of what I'm seeing out of a lot of people right now on every side, and even people who aren't political at all, just my empaths. You guys have been crushed under this energy. And so I want to make sure we focus on some work for you today, as well as just for this country. I am astonished to see people continuing to say that this is our civil war is coming. No, it's not. That's not who we are. That's not what we're going to be. There is no civil war coming. We are going to get through this. We're going to get through this as like Americans, and we're not going to do that. But it's a helpless feeling like we have people that are militarizing themselves, gearing up for fights. It's scary. However, there are things we can do. I don't want anyone here to feel like they are helpless. No one is helpless. What we can do right now is we can apply our light to the situation, right? Our light. That's what we have right now. Today, tomorrow, in the days and weeks to come, be kinder than necessary. Throw yourself into service. When you're in public, be the example that other people need. Be good to everybody. Look well beyond our differences. That's what we can do. And we pretty much do that anyway, right? But we need to amplify our light right now. We have to. We are the ones we've been waiting for, and we have an obligation and a responsibility right now to be great examples, to take great care of each other, and to get this light and the vibration of this country back into a place where we can coexist. It's on us right now, and we can do it. So, a couple of things that I have in mind for us today. We're going to do a lot of sound therapy today, and we're going to do a group healing circle. Before we do that, some of our regular stuff, I wanted to make sure that you saw our latest episode of true crime paranormal. So I'm going to share that with you guys in both chat rooms, but you can find that over on YouTube as well under True Crime Paranormal with the Psychic Sisters. But Christy and I have a brand new episode, of course, and I wanted to make sure you guys got a chance to see it. So we covered this week a case out of Scotland that's 44 years unsolved. Very interesting case. And there's actually new charges in this case 44 years later. It's pretty crazy. So I really, really enjoyed this case, actually. Pretty interesting. So I loved it. I do think that it's important to take a look at these cases, and to breathe life into these unsolved cases. And, it's interesting on YouTube. We get a lot of positive feedback and we get some very harsh feedback. And it's okay. You just have to learn to roll with it and not worry about it too much. But whatever feedback we get, we are putting more light, we're shedding more energy into these unsolved cases to hopefully someday see an answer. Just last week in the little community that I was born in, a man disappeared like 25 years ago, and remains were found, and they were finally identified with familial DNA. So now his family at least knows what happened to him. Those are the kinds of things. It's just so important. It's important work. So anyway, I'm loving it a lot. We just really enjoy it. So if you're interested in true crime, come over and play with us over there. And of course, it's a podcast as well on like every podcast carrier you can think of. So that's what's new with True Crime Paranormal. Now let's take a look at Luminous. Of course, you guys know I have a magazine that I publish every Tuesday morning with the assistance of a bunch of my awesome colleagues over at One Two Listen. And I'm going to put a link in both chat rooms, but you can also find it over at katie-weaver.com under the Luminous Magazine button. So I'm going to share it here for you guys, and let's take a look. I went with a kind of magical fantasy type cover today. I just wanted it to be light and fun. We need more of that. I mentioned in my note that, we have just experienced Halloween and Dia de los Muertos and All Souls Day and Samhain. However, the true Celtic Samhain is the second new moon after the equinox. And so actually the true ancient Celtic Samhain is the 15th of November. So we can still really enjoy right now a continued thinning of the veil and great communication with the other side and a lot of magic leading all the way up to that on November 15th. So I thought that was exciting. We need more of this magic, right? I called this week's magazine the Harmony Edition because that is what we need to project out to the universe and receive it back to ourselves. So it's all about harmony. My musings this week, of course, are basically what we're talking about today on the show. I did share a YouTube video of a song that I think is perfect for right now. And it is a Pink song from Happy Feet. It's A Seed of Light. If you've never heard that song before, please listen to it. I promise it will make your day. Sometimes I really wish we still had music at 1-2 Radio. We'd be listening to that today. Okay. Then, of course, we have Bitch Scopes from Kelly. My tip this week are 5 essential oils to shift a bad mood. Sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I find myself in a bad mood that I don't even like myself, And that's when you've got to do something. So 5 good oils for shifting a bad mood. Bergamot is a mood stabilizer. Fantastic for this. Lavender, great for alleviating anxiety. So it's a good one. Clary sage is all about balance. So if you're feeling little out of control of your emotions, clary sage is a good one to help bring you into alignment. Also, if you hate lavender, I know some people really don't like the smell of lavender. And in the essential oil world, lavender is bandied about like crazy, right? However, you can use clary sage the same way. Rosemary is a superpower. Its superpower is boosting memory and relieving stress. Rosemary is a feel good oil. It is. And if your brain is feeling fried, use rosemary. It will help you get your brain power back, your balance back. And jasmine. Jasmine is perfect for boosting self esteem and really good at just making you feel better all over. So, those are some good oil suggestions, all of which you could wear or diffuse. You could blend them together and wear or diffuse them. But those are all oils that are super helpful for busting a bad mood. And Caroline's article is called Change is Inevitable. Are you ready? A very good look at what's going on here and now. Christy pulled us a card from the Energy Oracle deck, her Kindred Spirits Energy Oracle deck. The card is action, motion, time to choose, physical movement, create, and change. The challenge is resistance, apathy, inertia, indecision. The crystal is banded agate. And the meditation is I trust my choices and move forward with my plan. Really good card for today. And Melissa's beautiful, beautiful postcard. When you believe in magic, magical things happen. I really love this for today because I feel like, again, when we believe in peace, peace happens. When we believe in harmony, harmony happens. And that's where we are. So there is more to come in Luminous, but I'll let you guys take a look at it when you have a few minutes. Lots of good stuff. The video there from Jamie Dawn this week is fantastic. Be sure that you take a look when you have a minute, but that is Luminous for the week. All righty. So the first thing that I wanted to do for us today is I'm going to smudge us. Now, I know you won't actually be able to accept a little smoke bath from me, but I thought maybe ethereally you still could, and maybe that would still be helpful. So I'm going to light up a little bit of sage here. I think everything we can do to bring the energy, the collective energy, down into a more reasonable and balanced place, well, we got to do. Okay. This sage is desert sage from near my home. This is sage that I harvest and wrap every year. And incidentally, I do finally have this sage posted in my Etsy store if you guys are interested in it. I have just regular sage. And then I also have sage that's wrapped with lavender, that's wrapped with rose petals, or that's wrapped with rosemary for different purposes. So if you've been wanting some sage and if you're like me, you're trying to stay away from white sage. White sage is really over harvested and we need to stop using it. And so if you're doing clearing stuff with, you're using sage in some way, do your best to get away from white sage if you can, unless you are indigenous or it grows on your property. I do end up with some every few years because I have a lovely client who it grows naturally on her property, and every so often she'll send me a box of it. So I do end up with some that way that I use here and there, but I won't sell white sage, and I definitely won't use it as a regular practice. I won't buy it. Okay, there we go. Okay, all right. Oh, we've got some good smoke going here. All righty. So I'm going to smudge myself. And I'm going to smudge you guys. So just sit right now. I'm laughing because I feel like some of you are going to say that you feel like you can smell it. I think that you will. Sit with this. This is such a sacred herb for clearing. Just allowing this smoke to overcome you, clear your mind, your body, your spirit. And we're asking the sacred energy of sage permeate the whole country, clearing out the anger, clearing out the frustration, clearing out the fear, and bringing us into a better place of balance. So there we go. Okay. So that's how we start today. Okay. I made quite the mess on my computer with this. It's okay. It's probably fine, right? It probably is. Yes. All righty. Let's go ahead and get into some sound therapy. So, the first thing I'm going to do for us today is drum for us, and we are drumming for balance. I brought my balance drum. This is a really, really special drum that was gifted to me from a dear friend that was studying in Atitlan, Mexico with Mayan elders, and some of these drums became available, and he felt like one of them was supposed to be mine. And so it is. So I'm going to drum for balance. All you guys have to do is take a few deep breaths, close your eyes, and sit with the drum. I'm asking you to please hold with me the intention of balance, the intention of peace, and the intention of something right here for humanity, that we allow the right thing to happen. Okay. There we go. This drum's kind of funny on the back. It's really tight. It's hard to find the right handhold. It's fine. Okay, here we go. Okay, good. That felt really good. It was interesting how, in the beginning, it did feel very furious, a lot of really fast energy, a lot of kind of intense energy happening. And the further we got into the drum, I felt like we slowed down. We got a little more calm. We got a little more purposeful. And then, of course, you probably noticed that I always end with a heartbeat rhythm to bring you balance personally and me. Okay. So then the second part of our work today is about balancing the root, because the other part of this stuff today is that it's quite ungrounding. So think about what the root chakra's function is: safety, security, needs being met. And if we're feeling unsafe, the root chakra is not balanced. When the root chakra is not balanced, the other chakras cannot be fully balanced because they're receiving a lot of their sustenance through the root. By the time you get to the crown, that could lead to a lot of chaos, the crown getting too big. That could lead to feeling like you can't get centered. It could lead to feeling like you can't get into a place of peace. It could be feeling like you can't think straight, right? It brings anxiety. It brings depression sometimes, and it brings a lot of racing thoughts. So it's key today that we get grounded and we stay grounded. So we're going to ground with the singing bowl right now. I hope that all of you have a chance today to get yourselves outside, even if it's chilly out. Get out for a little while. Go outside, get your feet in the grass if you can, or to the earth, or at least get yourself to a tree and put your arms around it. But continue to let your energy ground into that with the earth. That's going to help you so much. So I'm going to play the bowl a couple of times. The first time I play it, I'm going to ask you to focus on allowing any energy in your root that is holding you back or holding you down or keeping you out of balance to be cleared in the frequency or the vibration of the singing bowl. So we'll do that first. Okay, perfect. Now we're going to change gears just a little. I'm still going to play the bowl. This time, I would like you to envision red tree roots growing out of the bottoms of your feet and growing deep, deep, deep into the earth, connecting to the energy of the earth and allowing that energy to come all the way up your roots, clear to the top of your head, and then back down into the earth. We'll let it run up your left foot, up your left leg, all the way to the top of your head, and back down into the earth, down your right side, gathering up anything you're carrying that you no longer need, all the way up to your crown, and then pulling it back down into the earth on the right side to allow it to be released from you and be transmuted into the earth. So, focusing on growing those red tree roots first. Deep, deep, deep down into the earth. Now, pulling that energy from the earth all the way up through your left foot, to your ankle, your knee, your hip, up your rib cage to your shoulder, to the top of your head, and back down the right side, to your shoulder, down your rib cage, to your hip, to your knee, to your ankle, and through your foot and into the earth. And again, up the left side, a little quicker now, from your foot to your hip, to the top of your head, and then back down to your hip, to your foot, and deep into the earth. And one more time, much faster now. Good. Now just keep letting that energy flow, creating that balance, creating that reciprocal energy. Perfect. Okay. Very good. So that is the balance piece. And again, take good care of your root today. Stay away from fear based stuff as much as you can. Get yourself outside. Do what you need to do to balance yourself, right? Nobody else can do this for you. You've got to do it for you. You might be feeling super tired today, too. I'm hearing that from a lot of my empaths. I actually got in bed yesterday afternoon with my dogs for 2 hours, and I never do that, but I just needed it. And I think if you need it, you need it, right? Okay. All righty. So the last piece of our work today is a healing circle. Some of you guys have done these with me before, some of you maybe have not, but we're going to go together to a place where we can do some really powerful work. So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, get comfy, and sit with me here. Take a few deep breaths. Good. Now, I would like you to envision yourself walking through a forest, walking up a path. There are thick woods on either side of the path. You can hear pine needles crunching under your feet as you walk. It is very peaceful. It's warm but not hot. The sun is shining overhead above a canopy of thick trees. You are feeling peaceful and comfortable walking through this forest. You can hear an occasional bird. Maybe hear the wind rustling the trees a little. As you're walking up this path, I am going to count backwards from 10 to 1. As I do so, you will be getting deeper and deeper into your spirit with every step you take. When I reach 1, you will be reaching a clearing, a meadow where other people are gathering, a safe and magical place for people to come together, leaving their bodies and their cares behind for a few minutes to do some powerful work together. Starting now with 10, walking up the path, 9, 8, 7, getting deeper and deeper into your spirit with every step you take. 6, 5, halfway there now, feeling comfortable and confident. 4, 2, 3, 2, almost there. You can see the clearing in front of you now. 1, and you are there. Step out into the meadow now. You can see other people gathering, and you feel very at home here, very at peace. Go ahead and walk into the center of the clearing now, into this beautiful meadow. You'll see other people stepping off of their own path. Approaching the group now, you'll see me and many others here. Some people that you know and some that you don't. But we're all here for a common goal, and that is to radiate peace and harmony on the planet today into the souls of all who inhabit the planet of Earth. Go ahead and gather now, joining hands, creating a large circle. Now, at this point, it's up to you. If you have an energy modality you want to practice, you can do that now. If you would like to pray, please do. If you would like to chant or sing, or just radiate love from your heart and hold your intention, there's no wrong answer. You decide. Our ultimate goal is to blanket the earth in harmony and peace, starting now. Seeing a lot of pink light, peaceful, gentle, nurturing, and a lot of green light, unconditional love. Very good. Just another minute here. Wonderful. Go ahead and finish up. What powerful work. You can break the circle now and take a moment saying your goodbyes, knowing that you can come back here anytime that you choose. This is your place. You can come here for healing for yourself or for others, to give it or to ask for it. In just a moment, I'm going to be counting forward from 1 to 5. As I do so, you're going to walk back up the path from whence you came. When I start with 1, you'll still be very, very deep in your spirit. As I count forward, and by the time I get to 5, you'll be wide awake and refreshed. You'll remember all of the work that we did here today, and you'll remember how to come back anytime that you choose. So go ahead and walk back to your path now, and leaving the clearing with joy and peace in your heart. Stepping back onto the path now. 1, 2, 3, more than halfway there. Very, very light now. 4, almost there. And 5, wide awake and refreshed. Good. Okay. Good job. Stretch. Move yourself a little bit to ground back into your body. Sometimes it takes that. For me, it always takes that. Take a drink if you need to. Sometimes that helps too. Good. Okay. Excellent. I love the way that felt. Don't forget how powerful you are. Do not forget how powerful your love is, how powerful your intentions are. We don't have to be in the place we're in. We can do better, and we can all be a big part of that. Okay. All right. Just taking a quick look into the chat room. Mhm. Oh, Laurie said she started drinking celery juice yesterday, 16 ounces first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. She said, I swear I have felt amazing for the past 2 days and it has shifted my energy considerably, even though that may sound strange to some. No, that's what the medical medium prescribes to practically everybody. And I know a lot of people do that and feel like they do really well on it. Good job. I'm glad you're feeling well. That's awesome. Okay, so we are going to have time for some work in the chat room. Lillian said, wow, did I need that? We all did. I know. You're so welcome, Belle. My honor. And you as well, Quelly. Thanks, you guys, for being here and being a part of the work. Right? We're so powerful when we work together. Okay, Terry asked a question I wanted to get to. Do we have the ability to know if someone is around us or affecting us and how we feel? I wonder who it is. Okay, Terry, let's feel into that. You have a couple of things. You have an attachment. Like, do we know who it is? It's not someone you know. This is like more like a dark entity. You have an attachment, and it's definitely affecting how you feel. I don't think you've had it for a terribly long time, but I feel like you picked this up not too long ago. I'm going to say at a medical facility of some sort. Maybe not, but that's what I'm seeing. Terry, we just need to get rid of it. This is not yours. It's not meant for you to carry. It's just essentially feeding on your light. So I'm going to invoke Archangel Michael, Archangel Uriel, and Archangel Elohim. First, asking for spiritual protection around both of us. And then commanding the angels to pull this attachment. It's on your back and kind of wrapped around you, then coming straight through your heart chakra. I'll bet that your emotions have been all over the map. All right, so they're going to, not me, pardon me, remove this energy from you completely and bind it in white light and take it into the earth. Good. All right, and then let's heal up the auric damage. So when you have an attachment like that, it puts sometimes some holes in your aura, and I would never leave you like that. So let's heal that up. You didn't do anything to deserve this, Terry. It was just a random thing. It's a rare thing, but it does happen every once in a while. Okay, your back's all healed up. Let's hit your heart chakra here really well. Good. Just clearing that out of your heart. I just wanted to make sure there was nothing left there or in your solar plexus. Actually, let's call forth Archangel Elohim. Ask him to wrap you up in his red light, his red fire, and just burn off anything residual from this attachment. Good. And then lastly, Terry, I'm just going to wrap you up in a big blanket of gold light to raise your frequency, bring you into balance. Now, you do have a girl that follows you around quite a bit. She is a female spirit, a human spirit, and she is not nefarious at all. She just loves you. But I do see a girl. I say girl, I would imagine she's like, I mean, ages in the spirit world don't mean much, but the way I'm seeing here, her, I would say she's somewhere between 15 and 20, maybe 25. But she's joyful though. I don't feel anything negative from her at all. But she sure does love you. Okay. Alrighty. So there you go on that. Yeah, I'm sure you've been feeling that. Okay. Alrighty. I know I've got some questions in the other chat. Let me see if there's anything else I needed to see in this one. Nope, I think we're okay. All right, let's head over to the other chat room here. Okay, Julia said, if you have time, do you have any insight into my apartment building? Oh, if my apartment building is making me unwell. Came home from a 5-day farm sit last night and felt very well there. Woke up this morning with a strong sense of grief and a bit of stuffiness. There is mold in the basement ceiling under my unit. Yeah, I was going to say there's mold, Julia, but you know that. Okay. And hopefully you're running an air purifier in your space. The grief is interesting though, because I feel like the grief is also coming from the basement. Let's do, okay, I know what let's do. All right, so let's put pillars of selenite on all four corners of your building. So I'm going to call in the ethereal element of selenite. I'm going to put a selenite tower, enormous towers on all four corners of your building now. And we're going to draw that energy really deep into the universe and push it really deep into the earth so that the sun is constantly activating and regenerating or and what's the right word? Active, let's say, just say active, activating. There's another word. I'm sorry. It's not here. Okay. Re-energizing. There it is. The selenite towers. So what it does, Julia, in your building is it just continues to clear out what you don't need anymore because the grief is there in the building really heavily. I feel like there is some really old grief, like almost in the earth from something that's gone on there a long time ago. But you have quite a few neighbors too that are just having a tough time. So it's kind of a cocktail of things, I think. But that selenite work really helps in buildings where you have the influence of other people's energies. However, perhaps this is a wake up call to you that at some point, maybe not being in this building or maybe not being in a building would be better for you, you know? But I know circumstances are what they are, but perhaps living in a place where there isn't so many others would be helpful for you. Okay. All right. Tiffany said, do my guides have anything they want me to know in particular right now to get me through these times? Well, they do want you to. I just keep seeing your fur babies, putting your energy into them and letting them ground you. Yep, regenerating. Thanks, Laurie. Good Lord. I was thinking that today is the anniversary, I think, today or tomorrow of 3 years ago, I lost my thyroid. I had a growth that was growing super fast, and my whole thyroid was the wrong color, the wrong shape, had some serious problems. So they did a biopsy. It came back with precancerous cells. And if you guys know my family's history with cancer, that was enough for the whole thyroid to be ordered out. And it's changed my life a lot, a lot. And one of those things is that I feel like sometimes half my brain went with it. I have to call up a word and then wait for it to show up. It's not all bad. I'm fine. But But 3 years ago this month. Anyway, Tiffany, sorry. Let me get back to you. So, relying on those fur babies, petting them, nurturing them, that's going to be a good way for you to spend some of your energy. Checking on how your body feels about dairy and about gluten. Dairy reads okay, except for that your gallbladder liver doesn't love it. So just be careful. Gluten does not read very well. I would talk to your naturopath about your diet and how you may want to choose to make some changes. Caitlin said, thanks for all you do. I'm unemployed and hoping to get a full time position soon. Would love your insight on this, as the recent position I was hoping for didn't work out and I don't have anything else in the hopper. Caitlin, it really comes up for me that there is a solution in networking for you. Somebody that is either a friend of yours or somebody that you have worked with in the past have been uh, have a job possibility for you. So make sure you're networking, make sure you're reaching out to people that, again, that you've either worked with in the past or even friends, because I feel like somebody's going to be like, oh, well, these guys are hiring like crazy. And something comes through. I don't think unemployment's going to be a whole lot longer for you. But again, I feel like the answer is in networking with people that you already know. It seems to me like somebody knows of something. So keep your feelers out. Yes. Okay. Oh, Laurie said, that is so crazy. I had a goiter that was enormous and could be seen. So they removed the right lobe of my thyroid years ago. Oh, and she's the one who came up with the word I couldn't get. I get it, Laurie, though. Yep, we're in the same club. Okay. Ariana said, I don't often get the opportunity to be in the chat room. Since DC is boarded up because of expected trouble today, I'm home. Well, I'm glad you're here at least and home safe. Glad to be. I'll bet you are. I have a question. I was told that I would be finally getting a change of title in December for work I've actually been doing for a year. Do you feel like it would be best to send my boss a gentle reminder or just wait until December? And will I actually get the change of title? It's totally okay to send a gentle reminder. It is. It might be called for, to be honest. Uh, I feel like your boss may need it. They might need that reminder. And I think it's just a gentle, hey, this was said last year. I got to tell you how much I'm looking forward to this. And I'm hoping that you and I can network about or dialogue about how this year has gone and what you would like to see from me or for me moving forward. Ask for feedback as well as throw that back out there. I think that's absolutely called for and that you'll get a good response. I do think that change in title is coming. I feel like it'll be a good thing. Yeah. And well deserved. Okay. Jane said, I've seen my mom choke on pills and it is so scary. Right? Okay. No idea why they need to make pills so big. Seriously. Do you see me moving in with mom to help her? I'm losing money paying rent in San Francisco and seriously torn. I could see it, Jane. I actually could. I know that you are in some ways are missing that life, in San Francisco and would kind of like to get back, but at the same time, you have settled in here with your mom, I think, much, much better than you thought you would. And at this point, I feel like it may really make sense for you to do that, especially because your kitty has finally settled in too. And moving him again is going to be interesting. I mean, he'll be fine once he gets home because he knows home, but I could see it happening. I really could. Okay. Rebecca said, I would love a message about moving out of state. I'm so sick of looking for housing, as you know. I could see it, Rebecca. I could see you in Washington State really easily. It wouldn't have to be Washington State, but that was the first thing that came to me. So I'm sharing that with you, but I could absolutely see it. I know your area has become so gentrified and it's just gotten impossible to find anything. Yep. Okay, I think that we are out of time. I was accused by my producer of going over too much, and so I have to be careful. All right, you guys, that's all we have time for. Thank you so much for being here. A quick reminder that I am a professional psychic advisor over at one2listen.com. Come over there and see me for a reading or a clearing, or if I can help you in some way, let me know. And of course, I will be back on Thursday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific for the Read Me show with Katie and Kelly. Thanks so much for being here, guys, and have a great day. You've been listening to The Katie Weaver Show here on 1 2 Radio,